Are you drowning in a sea of endless scrolling, feeling your life slip away one click at a time? You're not alone. Today, we're tackling the digital demon that's stealing your precious hours. But forget the usual advice. We're going deep into the psychology and neuroscience behind internet addiction and uncovering strategies you've likely never considered. Ready to reclaim your time and supercharge your productivity? Let's get started. Tip number 1. Harness the power of dopamine fasting. We've all heard about dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter. But did you know that excessive internet use can actually rewire your brain's reward system? Each notification, each new post, each like, they all trigger tiny dopamine hits. Over time, this creates a vicious cycle, leaving you craving more and more digital stimulation. Enter dopamine fasting. This isn't about completely cutting yourself off from technology. Instead, it's about strategically limiting your exposure to highly stimulating online content. Start with a 24-hour period where you only use the internet for essential tasks. No social media, no YouTube binges, no endless news cycles. During this fast, you might feel anxious, bored, or irritable. That's your brain adjusting to lower dopamine levels. Push through it. Engage in low-stimulation activities like reading a physical book, taking a nature walk, or having face-to-face conversations. After the fast, you'll likely notice increased focus and a reduced urge to constantly check your devices. Your brain's baseline dopamine levels will start to recalibrate, making it easier to find joy and satisfaction in offline activities. But here's the key: don't stop at one fast. Implement regular dopamine breaks throughout your week. Maybe it's no screens after 8 p.m. or a tech-free Sunday morning. Consistency is crucial for rewiring those neural pathways. Tip number 2. Utilize the Seinfeld strategy for productive internet use. You've probably heard of Jerry Seinfeld's productivity hack, the don't break the chain method. But have you considered applying it to your internet habits? Here's how. First, identify your most time-wasting online activities. Social media, online shopping, endless YouTube rabbit holes. Now, set a daily goal to reduce that specific behavior. Let's say you currently spend 2 hours a day on social media. Your goal might be to cut that down to 30 minutes. Create a physical calendar or use a habit tracking app. Every day you successfully limit your time-wasting activity, mark it off. As the chain of successful days grows, you'll feel an increasing motivation to keep it going. But here's where we take it further. For every day you successfully limit your unproductive internet use, reward yourself with a set amount of time for guilt-free browsing. This creates a positive reinforcement loop, making it easier to stick to your goals long-term. The beauty of this strategy is its flexibility. As you improve, you can gradually reduce your allotted waste time and increase your productive time. You're not just breaking a bad habit, you're building a good one. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all fun internet use. It's about gaining control and intentionality. By gamifying the process, you're more likely to stay motivated and see lasting change. Tip number 3. Implement micro barriers to disrupt autopilot browsing. Our brains are wired for efficiency. Over time, checking certain websites or apps becomes an unconscious habit. We do it without thinking, often before we even realize what we're doing. To break this cycle, we need to introduce small obstacles, micro barriers, that force us to pause and make conscious decisions. Start by removing all social media and time-wasting apps from your phone's home screen. Put them in a folder on the second or third page. This tiny extra step can be enough to make you reconsider whether you really need to check that app right now. Next, use browser extensions like Leech Block or Stay Focused to set up timed blocks for your most distracting websites. But here's the twist. Instead of completely blocking these sites, set up a 30-second delay. When you try to access the site, you'll see a countdown timer. This pause gives you a moment to ask yourself, is this really how I want to spend my time right now? Another effective micro barrier is the 2-device rule. Designate one device like your laptop for productive work, and another like your tablet for leisure browsing. This physical separation makes it harder to slip into procrastination mode when you should be working. For an extra challenge, try this. Every time you catch yourself mindlessly reaching for your phone or opening a time-wasting website, do 5 push-ups or squats. This pattern interrupt not only stops the unproductive behavior but also gives you a quick energy boost. Remember, the goal of these micro barriers isn't to make internet use impossible. It's to transform unconscious habits into conscious choices. Over time, you'll find yourself naturally making better decisions about how you spend your online time. Tip number 4. Cultivate deep work sessions with the ultradian rhythm technique. You've likely heard of the Pomodoro technique, working in 25-minute sprints. But let's take it a step further by aligning our work patterns with our body's natural ultradian rhythms. Ultradian rhythms are recurring cycles that happen throughout the day, affecting our energy, focus, and productivity. Each cycle lasts about 90 to 120 minutes, followed by a 20 to 30-minute trough where our mental energy dips. Here's how to leverage this for maximum productivity and minimal time wasting. 1. Schedule your most important, internet-intensive tasks: research, writing, coding during your peak ultradian phases. These typically occur in the morning and early afternoon for most people. 2. Work in 90-minute deep work blocks, completely free from distractions. This means no emails, no social media, no non-essential web browsing. Use website blockers if needed to enforce this. 3. After each 90-minute session, take a full 30-minute break. This isn't just a suggestion, it's crucial for maintaining high performance throughout the day. Use this time for physical movement, meditation, or necessary but less cognitively demanding tasks. 4. During your ultradian trough periods, often mid-afternoon, schedule less demanding tasks that require internet use. This might be the time to catch up on industry news or engage in necessary social media interactions for work. By aligning your work with these natural rhythms, you're not fighting against your biology. You'll find it easier to focus during work sessions and less tempting to waste time online. But here's the advanced strategy: use a productivity tracking app to monitor your output during different times of day. Over a few weeks, you'll start to see patterns emerge. You might discover that your personal ultradian peaks don't align with the average. Use this data to fine-tune your schedule for maximum efficiency. Implementing the strategies, your action plan. Now that we've covered these 4 powerful strategies, let's talk implementation. Change doesn't happen overnight, and trying to overhaul all your habits at once is a recipe for failure. Instead, we'll use a gradual, systematic approach. Week 1, start with dopamine fasting. Choose one day this week for a 24-hour internet fast. Use a journal to record how you feel before, during, and after the fast. Week 2, introduce the Seinfeld strategy. Pick one time-wasting online activity to reduce. Set a realistic daily goal and start your chain. Week 3, implement micro barriers. Remove distracting apps from your home screen and install a website blocker. Experiment with the 2-device rule. Week 4, begin aligning your work with ultradian rhythms. Start with 2 90-minute deep work sessions per day, followed by 30-minute breaks. Each week, reflect on your progress. What's working? What isn't? Adjust as needed. Remember, the goal is progress, not perfection. As you implement these strategies, you'll likely encounter resistance, both from yourself and others. You might feel FOMO, fear of missing out, or pressure to always be connected. Stand firm. Remind yourself why you started this journey. The temporary discomfort of changing habits is nothing compared to the long-term benefits of a more focused, intentional life. Reclaiming your digital autonomy. Congratulations! You've now got a toolbox of advanced strategies to combat internet time wasting. But remember, these tips are just the beginning. The real change happens when you shift your mindset from passive consumption to active, intentional use of technology. As you implement these strategies, you're not just saving time, you're reclaiming your autonomy. You're choosing how to spend your precious hours, rather than letting algorithms and notifications dictate your day. Imagine a life where you're in control of your attention, where you use the internet as a tool rather than escaping into it. That life is within your reach. It won't be easy, and there will be setbacks. But with consistency and persistence, you can break free from the cycle of digital distraction. So, are you ready to take back control of your time and attention? The journey starts now. Your future, more focused, and productive self is waiting. Let's make it happen.